supplying water to the crops or plants, we call it as irrigation. There are various types of irrigation methods. What are all those? I don't want everything. At least few. Surface irrigation. What do you mean by surface irrigation? What kind of irrigation method is followed for the rice crops? Rice crops. Rice crops field la poirkingla paathirkingla? How the watering is done for the rice crops? Yes? How it will be? Pipe போட்டு ஒரு like near the crop means separate watering பண்ணுவோமா? Like உன்னோட home garden பண்ற மாதிரி பண்ணுவோமா? இல்ல then how it happens? See, high flow of water will be there. Directly you should not water for the rice crops. Okay, so near the surface and the pathing சொல்லுவோம். அதுல water main நிறைய water தான் நம்ம அனுப்புவோம். So whatever is required that will go for the rice crops. So whenever there is a high water flow, அது may be flooding method இருக்கலாம், furrowing method இருக்கலாம், இல்ல basin type of method இருக்கலாம். All those things are used for surface irrigation because we don't focus a particular crop in that. You only pass the water surface of the crops, not directly to the root of the crop or leaves are on the crops. Okay, only to the surface we supply the water, which we call it as surface irrigation. Suppose if it is a kind of indoor farming, a few crops only are there which you yourself will be able to supply the water, then we can go with some other kind of irrigation like dripping or sprinkling and all is possible. So sprinkler method is like it mimic the rain, so there won't be any much rain, or a kind of just sprinkle பண்ற மாதிரி on the leaves it will go, through which the water goes to the root. Dripping straight away to the root of the plant we supply the water. Okay, the last method we can say that automated water supply, or it can be another method could be manual watering. So manual watering is possible where it is a closed kind of gardening. Okay, so you have a garden which is of kind of 1 room size, 2 room size. It is possible for us to watering the plants regularly. Automated water irrigation, like you use the IoT devices. Okay, so you can just check the water level, like how much water is required for the plant. Accordingly, it will switch on, water will be supplied, then it will put off the supply of water. That is how irrigation is taken place on various methods for the plants. Okay, so these are the things we must know because you are learning about IT in agriculture. Once you know the regular method only, you can think of the improvisation of the existing method. Okay, fine. So next comes to, as I was talking about resource management, mainly about water management, another thing about nutrient management. These two things are very important. Water management, you must know what is the amount of water required by the crops. Okay, suppose if what you predict that water is going to be supplied more, then you have to have a control over that. Otherwise, it may kill the plants, right? It may kill the crops. So we need to take care of the water supply properly. Next thing is nutrients. Yes, you have given everything, but the required nutrients are less for the crop, which we will not be able to find out again manually. When once it grows up and when it gives yields only, the amount of yield is less. Then like if you are from the village background, if not you can ask your father or grandfather, they will tell you, okay, last year this much yield was there, but this year only this much sap of thing only we got it. That is how they measure the thing. After getting the yield only, till the time even farmers won't be knowing how much they will be getting. They will have expectation, then they will do harvesting, then they will measure only, then they stage itself, then you can think of providing the required nutrients to improve the production of. Got it? So that's about resource management. Then comes to crop management. So to manage the crop, you need to definitely think about you must have a control on pest and disease. Pest and disease. So when few amount of pests attack the crops itself, you could identify and immediately you can fix the issue so that you won't face much loss. Similarly, disease also. And then crop monitoring. So crop monitoring again, if you are combining both types of crops in the same farming, and again this also you must know, I don't think with the rice crop they will grow some other crops, whereas some other grains or pulses and all can be grown with some other crops too. Okay, so combined of 2 or 3 crops can be grown in the same field or farm. Okay, so also you can just Google or check with your parents or grandparents. Normally we can grow more than one kind of crops in the same field. If we are doing so, monitoring is very important. Some crops along with that some weeding may be grown up, that needs to be removed. Okay, some unwanted thing which may eat the nutrients of the required crops. So that needs to be identified and that needs to be removed for the better health of the crops. Okay, so that will be monitored. So again, to do that we will be using lot of field sensors and all. About that you may study in the unit 1 itself. Okay, unit 1 is about various remote sensors. So for each type of monitoring, to perform various tasks, we have a different sensors. Like if you are using one sensor to identify, to sense soil moisture, that cannot be used to check the humidity of the crops or temperature of the crops, lighting of the crops. That's not possible. So to perform each and every task, we will be using a different remote sensors. So those remote sensors will be there in the drones or with some other form. You will be using it and monitoring the crop development. Accordingly, you can either support the crops. Like if it requires more of nutrients, yes, you have to do it at the beginning stage itself. It's like that. So next comes to farm management. So you have something called farm management software. Farm management software. As I mentioned, we have different types of farming, right? What are all the different types of farming? Vertical farming, indoor farming, greenhouses. Greenhouses. So vertical farming or indoor farming is for only smaller areas. Okay. So when you are going to cover more number of acres exclusively for the business purpose, we go with greenhouses. Then you have to facilitate with a lot of external things, like you need to have definitely a artificial lighting system. Then again, when we talk about artificial lighting system, there are various types are there. Okay, I think in last class we spoke about LED. Am I right? LED alone is not the lighting system for the crops. Okay, so we have even different types of artificial lighting system. Have you ever heard of fluorescent lights? Fluorescent lights, right? So that is actually a low efficiency only. Only for a few purposes we will be using fluorescent lighting. Okay. When the crop is in the seeding stage, like you just have a seeding stage, you are in the seeding stage of the farming, and at that time you require only less kind of bluish light you require. Okay, and when the plant is in the very early stage, it is in the germination stage only. Then you cannot give more light, powerful light and all should not be given. That is the case, it will not be able to grow. If you just correlate with the natural thing, seed போட்டு after few days, like daytime notice பண்ண மாட்டேன். The day one morning if you see, you can see the germination in that. But குட்டியா அதுல இருக்கும் seedல இருந்து. If இது வரைக்கும் notice பண்ணலனாலும் at least hereafter you just try notice it. புரியுதுங்களா? Which means when the plant is in the earlier stage, அப்போ you need to give fluorescent light kind of thing. அதனால தான் நைட்ல அதுக்கு கிடைக்கிற the moonlight is very very less. அந்த bluish light படும்போது அப்போ we observe that what kind of light, what kind of reaction it gives. Based on that we induce artificial lighting. Got it? The next thing is high intensity light, where we have two different types. Okay, so those two types also are used, or it will be producing kind of red orange. You can just correlate with when we get red orange kind of light in the morning stage when the sun rises. That is the reason if you notice lotus blooms only in the morning. Once when the sunlight comes, you can see the lotus. Whereas in the night, light is enough for the jasmine. So what we do, we observe what kind of light is required for the plant. Accordingly, we induce such lighting to the plants. Okay. So in the greenhouses, what do we do? As I mentioned, it will cover more number of acres. It is mainly for the business. Mainly for the business. இப்போ நீங்க village பக்கம் போனா ஒரு விவசாயம் மட்டுமே தொழிலா வச்சிருக்கிறவங்க definitely சும்மா ஒரு கொஞ்சோண்டு இடத்தை வச்சலாம் they will not be able to run their life. அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு few acres இருக்கும். அதுல அவங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த சாகுபடி மட்டும் தான் அவங்களோட மெயின் பிசினஸா இருக்கும். Only farming. They don't have any other business. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது definitely they must have a large scale of fields or lands. அதே போல when we are deploying greenhouse, we are establishing a greenhouse. It is mainly for the large scale of lines. Okay, fine. So about artificial lighting, as I mentioned, so other things in general you must know, because you may get a question about the different roles of IT in agriculture or different roles of AI in agriculture. But you must know very clearly about artificial lighting system, where different lighting systems are there and purpose of each. Types of artificial lighting system. Number one is fluorescent. You can even make a note of it. Fluorescent lights. It is commonly used for seedlings and young plants. Commonly used for seedlings and young plants. So this light will not be very hot. This will be cool compared with other lights, because this light is going to be given for the seedlings or very very young plants. So it will be able to provide a balanced spectrum. Okay, so it won't be much hot or it won't be much cold. Balanced spectrum it will be able to provide to the plants. Next comes to high intensity discharge lights. High intensity discharge lights, where you have MH, nothing but metal halide. Another type is HPS, high emits blue, white light. Blue, white light. So normally it is benefit for the vegetative growth. Vegetative growth. So at the time of vegetation, kaayala malarthilaya, during plant stage it will be good. This kind of light is good. When you see the vegetables, so after it comes out also, suppose if the temperature is less or more, it will not grow properly. You expect it will, to be grown little more bigger, but the size will be very less, or it may die also. That is because of it may be either more of light or less of light. Okay, so you need to provide only kind of blue white light. So this is suitable for vegetative growth. Whereas the second one, HPS, light emits red orange light. Red orange light. So this is normally for the flowering or fruiting stage. Flowering or fruiting stage. So normally this light only is used in greenhouses. Greenhouses. Third type is the very familiar light emitting diodes, LEDs. So LED we say that it is highly efficient one because we will be able to customize the LED. So for a particular plant you require more spectrum. Yes, you can add more number of LEDs so that it will be able to provide the required spectrum. Or if the plants require less amount of heat accordingly, so you can use it in a customizable manner. That is the advantage. Not only that, LEDs can be tailored to the natural sunlight too, which means you absorb the sunlight, okay, and that could be incorporated with the LED's light. So suppose you have sufficient sunlight. Okay, so that is being taken daytime, it is well and good. It can be sufficient for the plants. There is night, and if the region where day is very hot and the night is very cold, that is again to maintain the same temperature, this LED can be tailored with the absorbed sunlight. That is possible with the LED. So we say that it is highly efficient lighting system. So finally, halogen lights. Halogen lights. So this light only for very few purposes used. So it's not much familiar as other three types. Okay, fine. So I have described something about the artificial lighting system. Now I want to answer from your side, what could be the advantages of artificial lighting system? Next to Tarun. Right to Tarun. Right. எது உன்னோட ரைட் ஹேண்டுப்பா? அவனை தட்டு. விஸ்வா. சரி, ஓகே. யா, ரஞ்சித். Please tell me a few advantages of artificial lighting systems. Yes. Stable temperature naala you are able to control the temperature, through which what are you achieving? Sorry, plants in full of maker. Plants affect agadu, okay. Adanala, what is the final thing? Yeah, yield. It improves the yield. Right, so you get better yield. Final adudana zero. So final thing is only that. So most of the plants, fruits, vegetables, you get it only during some season. But irrespective of the season, I want to get everything around the year. All the 12 months I need to get something. Now we go with artificial lighting system because why the season comes, why particular things are available only during certain month, due to the climate, due to the weather. Summer lana idam kadiko, winter lana idam kadiko. There are something during this only you get it like this lettuce or cabbages. Adanavala pathina you get cabbages in the chill places like Bangalore or Ooty, Kodaikanal. There only we will be getting all leafy kind of things. Okay, because they grow in mist, they grow in foggy situations. Okay, and you get carrot in Ooty or Kodaikanal because that weather suits for that vegetable. But that is possible to grow in our area also, provided you give the artificial lighting with the controlled manner. Okay, so number one advantage could be extended growing season. Can I say so? Extended growing season. So I don't limit the season. I am able to extend the growing season. The second advantage could be controlled environment. Since artificial lighting, I am the one who is providing, I am able to control the lighting system. If it is sunlight, I don't have any control over that. So I am able to provide controlled environment. Next, increased yields. That is the final thing. Okay, so since I am doing all these things, the yields will be increased. Energy efficiency, finally space efficiency. Okay, other things I explained you. Siva, I am saying space efficiency is one of the advantages. How? We have described so much, right? So from that, please tell me how artificial lighting system provides you space efficiency. No idea? Okay. So we are talking about vertical forming. Sit down. So vertical forming, greenhouses, indoor forming, and all those things. So just consider only the vertical forming. So if this is the land, assume this is the land. So we can plant, we can grow crops only in the ground, right? Ground. So if you go with the vertical forming, this room itself, this portion also can be utilized, and the entire wall also can be utilized, right? And be able to utilize the wall. So double the amount of crops can be grown up within this area. So if this is being set up like a greenhouse, or the materials what I have used to construct these walls, so I will be able to provide a controlled environment to this particular room. So I can get double the amount of yield from this room. Space efficiency. I am able to utilize the small amount of space but get double the amount of use. Okay. So these are the advantages of artificial lighting system. So I think last class itself I have spoken about greenhouse. So now I just want to explain you how the structure of greenhouse could be. How to establish a greenhouse, or what are all the components you require for the greenhouse. What is greenhouse? So many times I have used that term. Bhuneshwaran, what is greenhouse? Huh? Greenhouse? Artificial? Okay, indoor forming is also like that only. Yes. There must be a structure. Housing so it should be kind of closed environment. No. It must be a closed environment and controlled environment to grow plants. And that was another goal. To extend that, we will be using certain type of materials according to the requirement. That is, if you are going to grow sugar plant, you need to use a different materials. As a ceiling, wall, window, door, for everything. Okay. Sometimes, depending upon the place where you are deploying it, that also matters. So we can use glass material, or we can use wood material. We can use if a material going to absorb too much of heat. அதை ஸ்டேபிள் பண்ணி உள்ள கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரியான ஸ்டீல் or அலுமினியம் பாலி ethylene kind of things polycarbonate depends upon the situations, depends upon the plant what you are going to grow. You need to use a particular material. And again the shape also, it can be a kind of arch, or it can be the side and all can be open, only the top alone should be covered. Can be of anything. Okay, so that is about the structure of your greenhouse. Frames, how you are making a frame is very important. The frame could be made by the materials like aluminum, steel or wood. Aluminum, steel or wood. Adukku mela da that will give a shape. This aluminum sheet or whatever you are using, that will give a shape. On top of it you use another material that is to control the temperature, not only temperature, control the environment. Okay, so then covering material, heating systems, again we are not at all getting heat like it is a chill area. Okay, but you have to give a artificial lighting system use பண்ணாலுமே எப்படி அதையும் தாண்டி you need to produce a heat, you may use some heaters around. That again depends upon the requirement. Suppose extreme hot area, you need to coolant that place, so you will go with some kind of ventilation or some cooling system to reduce the temperature for the plants. So then of course lighting. So these are the very important thing to construct any greenhouse. Irrigation system, so within that greenhouses, how you are going to supply the water for the plant. Not all the plants will require same amount of water, and since you are covering more number of acres, you will be growing mixed kind of crops. When you are growing mixed kind of crops, depending upon the crops requirement only, you will be performing the irrigation. Okay, so that you need to bother. Finally, environmental control system, that is CO2 is very very important for the photosynthesis. Lighting kudukrom, heat kudukrom. In spite of all that, if there is no much required CO2 is given, photosynthesis will not happen properly and crop growth will go down. So that also needs to be cared. So these 7 are very very important requirement when we talk about greenhouses. So there are so many examples in abroad. If you see Spain and all, you have some Almeria greenhouses. Like even in Tamil Nadu, in Hosur, there is a greenhouse. Okay, so the visiting place of me is normally in the greenhouse they grow tomato, because it's like ladies know, housewives know, or mothers know, without tomato no cooking at home. Okay, so tomato is the mandatory thing for cooking. அதனால இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா tomato 1 month before the cost of the tomato was only 40 rupees, but now it is 80 plus. Okay, even that also the price can be predicted. That will help the farmers like when to release the products. இப்போ எனக்கு இந்த வீக்கே the releasing condition இருந்தா கூட அதுக்கு நாம என்ன மாதிரியான ப்ரொடக்ஷன் மெஷர்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு when the market price will increase, and at that time I will release so that I will get more profits. Okay, அதே போல by avoiding the third party direct dealership, like direct farmer வந்து கன்சியூமருக்கு ப்ராடக்ட்டை கொண்டு சேர்க்கிறதுக்கும் you have lot of facilities through IT. Okay, fine. So yeah, this thing I wanted to tell you. You have a Precision Farming Development Center (PFDC) in Coimbatore, where we can find a greenhouse. Okay, so rest of the things we'll discuss in the next class. Next topic will be crop development management in the greenhouses, and then simulation of CO2 in the greenhouses we'll see in the next class.